chapters 11 and 12 of the clvrngs. Well, the the as I don't know if it's as usual, but the head dudes of the Clavering family, Hugh Clavering and his younger brother, are a kind of a dot. Hugh Clavering, who is the head of the family and sort of lords that above them, owns all the land, is just an asshole, and he is indeed. It's because he has refused to acknowledge uh, Julia, um, or well, not acknowledge, but basically say like, she's okay. She got married to Debauch, and stuff got said, but that's from the mouth of a guy who was A, debauched, and B, was dying. So we're just going to set that aside. It's like, no, he refuses to basically acknowledge her. Thus, the rest of the society is now going to take her as a fallen woman who did her husband wrong, even if he was basically a complete wastrel scuzzbag himself. And we have a really uncomfortable scene of the clvrngs minus Julia getting together. Harry's father just like won't having anything to do with him. The two older brothers saying to Harry, it's like, oh, we should that you're really lowering yourself by marrying um, um, Burton, Miss Burton, whose name I cannot remember at the moment. Just really, really rude, really just boorish. And the sister-in-law, who's unfortunately married to Hugh Clavering, is like, well, I should marry Julia to the younger brother because then I will have company in my misery. Um, and that'll put her on good standing, even being married to such a twerp as the lower guy. And Harry is very against this, and he's against this in a way not as a friend of Julia, but as a guy who's like, I still have the hots for Julia, even though I'm engaged to Miss Burton. And so yeah, we have that set up, and then with the next chapter we have Julia Unger coming back to the Unger estate, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna take it in hand and that, but she quickly finds this is gonna be a pretty damn miserable experience. No one's gonna particularly talk to her. Um, she's like, oh, maybe I can do good in the world, but even that seems to be like, uh, and it's just a really kind of, in some ways, a semi touching chapter of just like, she's paid the price, but she's not going to get allowed to like have the rewards. And the obvious thing of this society is like, well, you're unattached now, so we're just going to marry you off to the first loser we can find who's of the right status, to put things right, regardless of how much that might give you any misery. She hasn't really gotten herself out of things anymore. So yeah, I just wanted to check in with that. As I go along, since Trollope has become more of a private read for me, I might do a review at the end of the month and put that up on the public channel. We shall see. We'll see where we are in the world, but yeah, I'm enjoying, as always, I'm enjoying Trollope. He always sucks me in, even if I've taken a little bit of a break from I did the first 10 chapters pretty quickly, and so I'm doing the second 10, I think it's 10 chapters left to actually trace back and see how the read-along, what the pace they're setting for the read-along. Steve Donahue is setting for the read-along for that, and we'll go from there. All right. More later.